Welcome everyone. Corporate Sales Essentials. This is what we will be talking in this presentations. Remember, these are the essential things. These are the vital things, are the most important things when we are going for a corporate or industry-wide sales that comes around it. So agenda is simple, something very simple. We will talk about the sales presentation strategies. We'll talk about the effective presentation and strategies thereby. What are the vital things that should be a part of your presentation, preparation of your written sales presentation as to what comes, what people need to understand or refer back in case they have missed anything in the presentation. They can find it very handy with the documents or the handouts that have been given during the sales presentation. So preparation of the written sales presentation strategies of different prospective categories, use of adaptive and canned sales presentation to the prospective goals, definitely yes, and how to make sales presentation memorable. Remember, we are talking about corporate sales, and corporate sales only can happen when you are making a wonderful presentation in front of the board or in front of the coalitions of stakeholder that comes around it. There might be supervisory level people out there. There will be manager level people out there. There will be director level people out here. Depending upon the quantum of sales that we are talking about it, depending upon the technicalities that are involved in the sales, we need to address to a number of people, the key peoples in the organization who will have a say in the decision making for the sales thereby. So yes, we are looking for it. So I would love to stress upon the success factor. Remember, we are talking about the corporate essentials, sales essentials. So top 10 successful factors in essentials, what we are looking at. First, foremost is a listening skills, which nobody pays more attention. And that is the only reason I have made it my top priority for the audience of this particular video to understand, to listen to what has been said in terms when you are going for a sales approach or sales page. Follow up skill is very important. Immediately after sales, thank you, say that we will get back to you, or say if there are any initiations or any misunderstanding which can be removed. Ability to adapt styles from situations to situation, tenacity, sticking to the task, organizational skills we are interested in. We are talking about verbal communication skill, proficiency in interacting with the people at all levels within an organization, demonstrate abilities to overcome objections, closing skills, personal planning and time management as often as possible. How do we go across with it? If at all we comes to understanding. So yes, there's a listening skill, there's a follow-up skills, ability to adapt sales style from situations to situation, tenacity is what we are looking. Persuasion, being persuasive, being proficient, uh, being able to build the relations, build able to overcome objections in a fair and a square fashion. And probably we should be always be aware of the time management skill that comes around it. The first sales call, probably the first sales presentation, if you're talking about it, people think that sales presentation and demonstration are pivotal to the exchange between seller and a buyer in the sequence of exchange that make the selling process. Now this is what we are looking into it. What should be talking about every now and then where we are interested upon things to be proceeded. So we need to understand the sales presentation, the first demonstration. That is very, very pertinent. You know, first impression is the last impression, as the saying goes about it. The approach should be all about having a consultative problem solving approach. Remember, this is what we're looking into it. Consultative problem solving approach strategy. If we can have in the very first establishment, first presentation, first interaction, a consultative process has been initiated, you know you are on the right path as the case might be. So the strategic or the consulting selling model, let us come to it. So evolve in response to the increased competition. It is all about engagement. You remember, increased competition, more complex product. The more the complex the product is, the more consultation is required, the more understanding is required, the more clarity is required, more emphasis on the customer needs, and probably we are looking for a long term building of a relationship. So yes, we need to understand the prescription, and I have given you certain keywords that needs to be taking about it. So we are talking about personal selling philosophy, as in the marketing concept as a personal selling. How well can you establish a rapport? Developing a relationship strategy is always we are talking about a win-win philosophy. Maintaining a high ethical standards, develop product strategy, becoming a product expert, sell benefit, configure value-added solutions. Develop customer strategies is understand buyer behavior, discover customer needs, develop prospect base. We talk about it. We need to understand everything now and then. Identifying prospect problems and needs using a consultative process, the problem solving approach, the professional salesperson tries to uncover the prospect perceived problem and needs through a skillful questioning and careful listening. This is what we are actually going about. We need to understand everything in tandem with one another, in understanding about each other's priorities, each other requirement. If we can have these consultations, if we can have this process built in the initiations of interaction to understand what how one can benefit from each other's company as such. So yes, we should plan the sales presentation. Now, how do we go about it? I will ensure you approximately 5 steps. First and foremost thing, gather information. Information about your product, information about your company. Everybody has it if you say so. But then gather information about your prospective clients, gather information about the prospective companies. We need to understand what are their requirements, identify their problems and solution is one of the most important thing, and thereby make a presentation which actually solves their problem, which actually addresses their issues, to prepare the sales proposal in such a fashion, and thereby you come to the penultimate step of confirming the sales or building the relationship and ensure customer satisfaction after the sales have been done with a follow-up thing and being in touch about any other thing, any other requirement that is being pertaining or arising with respect to the sale that you've already made or probably for the future sale that you are going to look forward to it. So gather information we can. How do we gather information? I'm trying to give it to you a snippet out here. First, you may Google the company, go to visit their company website, Google the prospect, LinkedIn, experiences in the current job of your former employees, shared connection, groups, recent activities, buyer Twitter account, company's Twitter account, company's press, media release pages, competitors' press and media release pages. Thereby, what we are looking about it, we are not only talking about the company's Twitter account or company's social media account. We are also talking about the media releases, the press release that comes in. The competitors, your competitors, what are their media releases, what are their press releases, visit their financial statement, their blog, their Facebook, you name it, and we can have it. This will give you an enough direction as how well or not so well the company is doing around it. And we move to the step number 2 of prospecting requirements, identifying them. Too much talk can be detrimental to the sales process. A chronic complaint is a sales fellow talks too much. It is almost as if they say empty vessels make the most noise. They fail to ask the right question and do not listen to the buyer as the case might be. And that's the reason I said listen first thing. Top performing salesperson understand the needs together or all relevant information they can have about the prospect and their perceived problems thereby. This is what we are looking for it. Remember, first and foremost thing, you should be talking to the decision maker. Anybody other than them, probably you are wasting your time. Probably even the company is not serious about the about your prospect. So talk to the key influencer. So neither party time has been wasted. Next, ask probing questions to encourage the prospect to provide information to on perceived problems, objective, financial issues, needs and personal feelings as the case might be. Yes, we are talking about it every moment, every time and now. So let us visit the sales presentation. If you look into it, this is where we have an engaged audience altogether. This is where we are talking to them and the audience is interacting. So before making a sales presentation, take time and make an effort to prepare yourself to give a immense performance altogether in front of your audience. Remember the following thing, a professional approach in the sales presentation is very important. Be properly attired, give the proper dictum, use the jargon, the technical jargons if you are addressing only the technical peoples. In if not, use a layman terminology to make it very understandable. The fab approach of features, advantages and benefit, the features of the product, the advantages that comes around it, and probably the benefit that the customer will or the sales would actually enable the client altogether. So value added thing is all about selling, is all about we are talking about it. So give values, enhance the product in terms of guarantees and warranties, in terms of after sales service, in terms of payment and payment terminologies or terms thereby. So we can talk about it. So preparing let us look at the professional approach to sales presentation. Remember, salespeople would customize their tailor-made presentation to the requirement of the clients. We will be talking about their situation, their needs, their communication style, and if we can build a rapport about it, nothing can go wrong. The sales presentation can vary depending upon different type of prospect. When I say about prospect, we are talking about the technicalities of the company, technicalities of the person involved. We are talking about it. When we are talking about the prospect, we are talking about the size of the company and the size of the sale that we are looking into it. When we are talking about the prospect, we need to understand under what setting that has been given, how aggressive is our competitors going for that particular sale. So we need to keep those things in account. Now let us tell you about the fab and the sales approach altogether. Features and obvious characteristics of the product that comes around it. Advantages are the basic performance traits of the product that shows how well it can be used to help the customer better solve a problem than better present it. That is what advantages is all about. It benefits are what the customer wants from the product, as in from the product, what does the customer actually look into forward to it. This is what should be interested in. So remember, this is the fab approach, and let me give you the sales approach altogether. Even this is a part of selling uh, prospect. When you approach the customer, you need to talk about the features of the product. You talk about the advantages the uh, product will be showing or displaying on behalf of the customers, and the benefit that the customer will want to from the product altogether. Let them, and how do we demonstrate it? We will show the features, we will explain its advantages, we will lead the prospect into the benefits altogether. So believe me or not, once we have shown or demonstrated the features, when we have explained the advantages thereby, when they can visibly see it, probably then is the term when we can put the hammer on the nail and talk about their benefits. But after this, you need to let the prospect talk, because this is a time when you will understand, and you should be listening. I would have written listen also, but I did not say so, because I want you to be very factually correct and on the face, and let the person talk, understand their pain points, understand what they are looking forward to it before actually start the trial close or make the sale eventually happening. So basically, remember, fab actually leads to sales. Fab is features, advantage, benefit. Sales is showing, explaining, leading, letting the person talks and start the trial. So we talk about value added selling. VAS, a comprehensive strategy. VAS focuses on providing customers with extra value-added benefit over those offered by the customer. VAS shows the customer that the extra overall perceived value is much, much greater than the what competitors are offering. Value-added selling presentation go beyond the features, advantages, benefit approach to convincing, present, and demonstrating the overall added features or the benefit that the customer will eventually receive once they purchase from their company across four categories. And what are the four categories that comes around it? We need to understand those four categories there, and thereby we talk about the value added product benefits. We talk about the value added relationship benefit, the value added company benefits, and the salesperson benefit. That you are available, readily available, accessible. The company is going to benefit in terms of the payment terms that we've been going about. Value added relationship benefits will maybe there be a host of product that the value that the company can avail from your company per se, and the product benefit definitely why it should be going around to the your things, your product. So, what is the value added selling approach to the sales presentation? Identify and discuss these four value things again and again for your understanding. So, let us go by the fourth step, wherein we are talking about confirming the sale or probably cementing the relationship. Professional salesperson sees their prospect customer as a business partner. Obviously, yes, because we are not going to make ourselves only once in our lifetime, but that customer can purchase things throughout their lifespan or their career. So why not build in or invest in such a relationship? Why not make them a partner in our progress? Cultivating relationship based on trust, mutual benefit, mutual interest, cooperation instead of aggressively closing on the sale. Spend considerable time trying to understand and probably uncover the needs and the concern of the partners through attentive listening and by serving trusted advisor, consultant, and even friends. Never sell a product or service with which customers will not be satisfied. Realize that only by providing continuous service satisfaction will they obtain the repeat business that leads to a long-term customer loyalty, higher commission for themselves, and greater profit for their companies, as the case might be. We come to the fifth step, the eventual step of building relationship. Definitely yes, and probably ensuring that the customer is satisfied. Some underperforming salespersons or people may actually neglect the post-purchase customer services. Immediately after the sale, the interest, contact, and relationship with the customer fall off rapidly. We talk about such short-sightedness that comes around it, or indifference is the relationship killer. The salesperson may later have to work doubly hard to re-establish rapport, build the relationship with that people. High performing salespeople are committed to providing prospects, the customer, with totally satisfying services through a long run relationship before, during, and probably after the sales service. So basically, we are talking about a lifelong relationship that comes around it. We are not interested to make only one sales one off time and that's it. So we should be looking for a long-term benefit, mutual benefit that is going around it. They should understand what the customers are wanting, what is actually trending in the industry, how to generate repeat sales time and time again, so that this will cement the relationship further and probably becomes a loyal customer for your company all the way around. So I'll give you with the general guidelines of a effective sales presentation. Prospects wants to understand a product with this all their senses. So what appropriate demonstration can he hear, can see, can feel, can smell, or probably even taste a product. So you need to understand how do we, the demonstration should all about it. It should appeal to all your senses that you have been surrounding it. So that is of your eyes, of seeing, of your ears, about hearing, about your feel, about this, about your skin, about the smell as you're about nose, and even for your tongue as a taste. So see, hear, feel, smell, taste, anything and every way, in all possible fashion, can you make a demonstration. Now I'll tell you about the 8 planning steps to prepare demonstration are. Demonstration benefit that a custom tailored to a prospect needs. First and foremost thing is required. If it's a small company, we are not going to look for a huge number of productions or huge number of capacity that needs to be built around. But if it is a upcoming company and looking for a very large context altogether, which they want to add on their capacity, yes, probably we can go for a large scale machinery where there is a good higher change in efficiency. So that needs to be understood as per the requirement of the customer. Decide what to say about the benefit from the prospect's perspective, and always select aids means of hearing, selling, saying about the demonstration that involves the human senses and will make an immense impact in their decision making skills thereby. So the rest five are pre-check all sales aid, make sure everything is working smoothly, ensure that all your demonstration materials are there in front of you, absolutely there. If it is to be done outside of your conference room in the open, go ahead and do it. Decide when and where to make the demonstration, usually a controlled environment. In case if you want to show a practical demonstration, it can be done through a video. In case the person wants to have a feel of it, you can take it to a site where they have been actually seeing it. Involve the prospect as long as possible into the demonstration. Remember, if they try it, they will buy it. Absolutely, what has been I've been trying to tell it to you. Involve them. Make sure they are having a hands-on practice. Prepare a written demonstration to outline the 3 columns. Benefit to demonstrate, what to say and what to do. This is a written demonstration that you should always keep a handy for yourself and be clarity. There should be a clarity in what you are going to demonstrate, what are you going to say, and what are you going to do. Rehearse the demonstration many a times until you have the right pitch, right words, and right action. Thereby, until and unless you feel confident about yourself, believe me or not, your inner sense will actually tell whether you're ticking the right check boxes or not. That is what is the question is all about. So we remember dressing is an appropriate thing. This is a powerful dressing sense that comes around it. It will enhance your personal appearances. It will make that you are a serious contender. So yes, your whatever you wear, whatever you carry on yourself is very pertinent. So please go ahead with the formal dressing sense thereby. Dresses for sales presentation, you know what is your goal is to convey a professional, a confident trustworthiness. So that is what we are looking into it. Wear clothes that are conservative, cut clothes. Don't wear something called very flashy, very colorful. We use makeup for the saleswomen, use makeup, but that should be on a minimal basis. It should not be extravagant. It should not, you are not there to for a informal get together or an impression. You are there at the formal environment, and probably you should be stressing more about your work and less about yourself. At the same time, you should be looking decent enough. Jewelry, neither a salesman or saleswoman should wear ostensibly or loud jewelry. Thereby briefcases should be as small, as conservative as possible, not to use a loud briefcase in terms of a very expensive one, or in terms of a very things, anything which is dark brown or black in color. A flat zipper might actually do the wonderful things. Business cards, use choose simple style. Absolutely simple style, dignified business cards, written paid. Never ask for a customer to sign a $20,000 check or an order with for your pen. With your pen, carry one, and if required, please go and carry one and help the customers whatever you can go around it. So it is what we are looking out here altogether. So how to dress? Probably would be very appropriate if you dress like a customer. Absolutely. Keep your dress in tune with the customer so that you become a part of his team altogether. Stay neat. Do a quick mirror check in the restroom before your meeting takes place. Before you look presentable. Shoes has to be polished. If you are a woman, do not wear low cuts clothes. Absolutely. Beware of the offensive odors. Smell nice. This is what we look into it. Do not smoke, and you should be breathing fresh when it comes to your interaction, in case there are opportunities where people should not get offended by the smell or the odor that you might be emitting. Efficient behaviors and listening principles. Remember to be looking look as successful person, well organized salesperson, not coming across as a confused person in the way. Try to build rapport as early as possible. Adjust to the customer's communication style. Present the strongest customer benefits. Selling point for establish credibility. Make the presentation fun. Arouse as many customers' five senses as possible. This is what is required. Combine factual and emotional appeal with the things that needs to be taken care of. Look for and use responsive behavior. Help prospect draw the right conclusion. Avoid making puns. Avoid making jokes. Never, I repeat, never tell any offensive or ethnic jokes. You do not want to rub your customers the wrong way, wrong side altogether. So be polite in your consideration. Help customers to draw right conclusion. Try to be very responsive with your behavior. Do not be informal. Do not speak loudly. Do not crack offensive jokes. Never demean another company, another fellow in front of your customers. Help prospect draw the right conclusion. Use humor. Probably, yes, I would always say avoid jokes, but use humor and directions only as and when appropriate. And readily admit minor product weaknesses here and there. There is nothing wrong in saying ki your product is impeccable. So salesperson must act professionally, listen reactively to their prospect. The old maxim says the reason you have two ears, one mouth is that you should listen twice as much as you talk. And this is especially effective for a salesperson to go around it. So listen more, talk less. Listen to what your customer is telling or probably what is displaying with your body language. Listen to them and go across with it. I will give you the key listening skills altogether. Stop, look, listen. Make prospect feel comfortable, and definitely do not make them uncomfortable with asking certain unrelevant questions altogether. Remember to avoid any positively or negatively critiquing their statement. Be neutral in their approaches, and probably always empathizes with the problems and of the prospect. Be considerate towards them. At the end of the day, you are there to make a sales. Give prospect your full attention. physically, mentally, cognitively, emotionally. Do not yawn. Do not change your eye gazes. Do not double tap your finger. Do not engage with your phone, and so on. Keep your emotions under control. Make notes of major points in your discussion. Some top salesperson actually sends a memorandum of summarizing each meeting, saying thank you, probably, as the case might be. Selling the long-term relationship is what we are looking in as in. So many industries seek to improve quality and probably in the process actually reduce cost. The trend towards closure supplier relationship, longer term contracts, and a fewer suppliers in increasing. Salespeople may go beyond selling or to serving their customers, much like the consultant or the business partner. What these trends tell selling organization is that selling the long-term relationship is not just another strategy. It is fast becoming the only viable strategy of late. So selling is only viable, it is only possible if you have a long-term relationship building, if you look at the longer perspective rather than be short-sighted altogether. With these words, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.